job hunt and mining information video. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video we are going to have a look at where I can help people get jobs through using the training and educating them, and we're also going to have a talk about why you need to do at least 6 months in your first job. So how at the moment, because there's so much demand for experienced people, that if you can do 6 months in your first job, the script really does flip. So it goes from the employer having all the power to you having all the power. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, but first up we're going to have a look on Seek, and we're going to type mining truck in just to see what jobs are about. And as we go through, you'll see it's all flipped from the surface to underground. All the entry-level jobs that they're looking for people, so all these jobs are all entry-level. Even though they'll want experienced people, unfortunately the majority of it is going to be needed to be filled by entry-level people, because there's just nobody with the experience that they want. Now, because of the driverless trucks, there's a few surface jobs going around the place that are hiring experienced people and are paying reasonable money compared to the underground truck operating roles. So it's more of like $45 an hour opposed to sort of $55 an hour on the surface. But people don't stay in truck driving jobs underground. They move up through the ranks quite quickly, and all the jobs above pay really well. So like I keep on saying, if you're the first time watching this video, 2 years ago this page would have been filled with surface truck jobs. Now it's mostly filled with a lot of underground truck driving jobs, and that's where you're going to get your job at the moment. And so this is our map with all the gold and copper mines around the country loaded into it. The reason why we're loading gold and copper into it and not iron ore and coal is because iron ore's gone almost completely driverless, so they really only, they need people to operate the call centres and all that sort of stuff, but it's not an on-site job that much anymore. And the coal price has dipped a lot, so it's a bit iffy for coal mines, but the price for gold is through the roof. It's just made another new high. So if we have a look, this is just a screenshot off my phone. It's over $4,500 an ounce, which is really big. And if we flip over to our gold price, so this is just off the gold index here, and we come down here, you'll see in Australian dollars, and again this is the price to go down to the Perth Mint and buy it, so it's $4,558, so there's a $50 premium on it at the moment to go and actually get it physically put into your hand. But yeah, at $4,500 an ounce, that's a ridiculous price for gold, and that's why there's so many jobs around. Whereas with coal, the issue is that it's $110 an ounce, $110 a ton, whereas 2.5-3 years ago it was $350-400 a ton. So it's a big drop. And with iron ore, it's spiked back up a little bit, but it's bouncing between that 120 and that 80. It's going to bounce in that range. Everybody's pretty consistent on that. But unfortunately with the iron ore, most of the jobs have been turned driverless. So one of the things that I like to tell people when you go and get an underground job, you need to survive the first 6 months. So you need to do 6 months and 1 day. So if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all these jobs come up, and you're not just looking for the underground truck jobs. You've got nipper, offsider, underground projects. They'll have to take entry-level people on for jobs like this. They won't want to, but they've got to. So if you can use the training to educate yourself to how it all works, you've actually got something to help and offer the employers. But like I was saying, the big thing with these jobs is that you've got to do 6 months in your first job, 6 months and 1 day. If you do less than 6 months, it becomes really problematic trying to get another job, because a lot of the foremans look on it as failure, unfortunately. So if they hire somebody that's failed before 6 months on one of the other jobs, they look at it like they're just buying into failure. But the other flip side of it happens when you do the 6 months and 1 day. You go from being an entry-level person to being somebody that would be able to get a nipper or a truck or an off-sider job on any of these mines around the country. So what I try and tell people when they're looking for a job, you just need to be looking to get your foot through the door. So do the training, go to the mining town if you have to, come to Perth, do whatever you've got to do, even if you've only got to do it temporarily. So you're only relocating for 6 to 12 months just to get your start and your experience up, and then you're going to move back to wherever you came from. Like, you might be in Brisbane, or you might be in Melbourne or somewhere like that, and you're going to be able to pick up a job that's going to be able to help you, that's going to allow you to be in and out of that area that you want to be in and out. But you're not going to be able to do that first up as a new starter. It just doesn't work like that. You've got to chase the job to start with, and you've got to jump through the employer's hoops. But once you hit that 6 month and 1 day mark, they're that desperate for people around the industry, and you only have to look through these jobs. These jobs just go on for ages, and it's not just the nipper and the truck and the pace crew and service crew. They need charge up and bogger operators and long hole operators and diamond drillers, and they need everybody all the way through. Shift bosses, you go through the jobs and they're just pretty much endless. They need work, they need experienced people everywhere, and that means that everybody's being fed through. So if you do get a bit of experience going up, you can rise through the ranks quite quickly. We did have a message from one of the guys the other day. I highly recommend the online training for anyone thinking of getting into underground mining. Teaches you everything from the roles from driving a truck to setting up headings, throwing bolts as a nipper, and working in pace crew and more advanced roles like service crew. I purchased DIY package and decided to upgrade to the work ready package, where I could communicate with the WA shift boss for my advice and interview prep. Had all my resume done professionally, and still refer to the training after 8 months now. I'm training on service crew, and that's the goal. This is, Frosty's, he's done really, really well. If he's training on service crew after 8 months, that's a really good result, and that's the result that we want people to have when they're doing the training. So the training, it's all online. He started off doing DIY, and he used upgrade to the work ready. You can buy the work ready straight out if you want, but the whole thing is to try and put you in a position where you can go out and get one of these jobs straight away, and then you can put in the effort, put in the harder yards, get promoted, and start climbing up through the ranks quite quickly, because it's quite easy to do, especially in the environment that we're in at the moment with gold at $4,500 an ounce gold. Everybody's trying to push, everybody's trying to open things up, and that means that they need more people. So the people in the middle jobs are getting promoted to the top jobs, people in the top jobs are getting promoted even higher, and the people that are coming in at the entry level jobs are getting promoted into the middle jobs quite quickly. It's what happens when you're in a big boom. It happens, I've seen it happen quite a few times now. This will be the 6th boom that I've gone through, and this one is looking pretty wild with the price that we're at the moment, and it only looks like it's going to go higher with all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world at the moment. So if you want to get into the industry, the best thing to do is to educate yourself to how it all works. We've got our mining jobs to apply for page that you can have a look at, and we also post up on our videos the mining job hunt videos. So these videos that I'm making today, you can have a look, and I've posted them up on this page, so you can have a look at that, and it goes through where all the relevant bits are. But yeah, you can go back and have a look through all those jobs and go from there. But the easiest way in the industry is to educate yourself. The more you know how it all works, the easier it is. And if you're concentrating on trying to get a surface job, I would pivot now to having a look at an underground job, because that's where all the money is and that's where all the jobs are. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you could share this information around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.